Jarvis, drop my needle.
Hello, this is the hardcore legend Mick Foley, and if you are interested in listening to idiots, you came to the right place. Have a nice day.
Woo! That's an attention getter.
He's a very strange young man.
He's an idiot.
What we're dealing with here is a complete lack of respect for the law.
Oh my God, he's an idiot.
You know, of course, that you're out of your jurisdiction.
Personally, I think you're an idiot.
But that's the evidence in the car.
But I was going into Toshi Station to pick up some power converters.
Always like to keep my audience riveted.
Greetings, ladies and gentlemen, friends and fiends, and welcome to Free Range Idiocy, the podcast about everything, but mostly just the stuff we like. We are now into our second week of March Madness here at Free Range Idiocy, and thankfully our brackets ain't busted yet, but that's mostly because, well, there's no real eliminations. It's all made up, folks. Today we find out who we adjudicate as our top wrestling tag teams of all time. Will it be some mainstay of the scene or a Cinderella story from the far reaches of memory? Who knows? We'll find out in this episode 240, Tag Team Brackets Part Deux. I am your Uncle Todd, and with me, as always, is the man who still has one of his most treasured possessions, the tag rope from the original WrestleMania, held by both Roddy Piper and Paul Orndorff. He has been my partner in EDC for over 2 decades and will be auctioning it off live later tonight on eBay if he doesn't stop watching Raw first. I give you the man they call Tim.
Greetings and salutations, my friend. How are you?
Happy Monday night. So when you see Tim looking off like this the whole show, it's because he's got Raw on his second minute. I'm not even going to get into how bougie he is about having a second monitor anyways. But he's watching Raw on his second monitor. He's only going to be barely paying attention to this show, ladies and gentlemen. So just so you know, every time you see this, just know, like, everything I'm saying is just wah, 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 wah.
Huh?
T minus? Yeah. Anyways, how you doing, sir?
I'm doing well. I'm doing well. I'm living the dream. You know, we're here on a Monday night, and I'm enjoying some matcha. Mm-hmm. I got my matcha going here, although I've drank about 3/4 of it. Wearing most of it on my mustache and my beard, so I'm just trying to clean up from that a little bit. It's kind of like, I feel like a whale, you know, with the reeds hanging down. It's like filtering stuff out.
With the foam, I was going to choose something else, but I'm not going to do that out of respect to you, sir.
Thank you.
Hey, you know,
I appreciate you not taking it to whence it does not need to go.
Times are tough everywhere, you know.
Stop.
It's hard times.
Yeah, okay. Good God.
Welcome
you
to
no
the show,
shame,
everybody. No, I don't. I mean,
no, you don't. You don't.
And actually, sir, I've just realized this the other day. So we are now in the year of our Lord 2026. I believe
you just realized this.
I believe that we first met somewhere in 97, 98.
Yes. Yep.
So we are rapidly approaching when I'll have to change our intro from 2 decades of idiocy to 3 decades of idiocy.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. It was, if I'm not mistaken, the hallowed halls of the warehouse of service merchandise.
Now, I got to ask this question, sir. How do you feel about, like, this being one of the foundational relationships of both of our lives? Like, it literally outlasts both of our marriages. How do you feel about that? Do you feel
I feel like
weird?
this is very on brand for us. Very on brand.
I feel like we've done a great job of dragging each other down equally, so I don't feel like it's one fault to the other, you know?
Mm-hmm.
That's good.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I feel good. I feel good. I'm trying not to be distracted by Penta's entrance, so
just turn it off.
Fine.
Watch it on replay like the rest of us.
All right, I turned it off.
Who
it's
don't
not
have
on
a
anymore.
Second monitor. It's not on. It's totally on. You just reduce the size of it a little bit.
What? Sorry, I was.
Exactly. Exactly.
Wow. So 3 decades of excellence, my friend. Very nice.
Excellence. Oh, we have very different definitions of excellence then. Very, very different definitions.
All right. Well, shall we kick off this enterprise, Warp Factor 9?
Break it down, as the first team would say.
Break it down. Actually, you know something I'm just wanting to check here real quick.
Now he's going to pull up Raw on his center monitor and just completely ignore me.
No, never mind. I thought there was a major miss going on here. But we last week we adjudicated the 80s tag teams and the tag teams of the 2010s, 2020s, also known as the bottom of the barrel. Actually, no, I think 2000s is the bottom of the barrel.
We're starting off at the bottom of the barrel today.
Oh, my gosh. This is going to be interesting.
Yeah.
But I ended up coming out of that with, for the 1980s, the Road Warriors. And then for the 2010s, 2020s, the New Day. Yes, it is. So those are that's my first half of my Final Four bracket. And tonight we will adjudicate the second half of the Final Four. By the way, if you missed our Week in Geek episode, Week in Geek Wednesday, I just want to once again take a moment and honor someone who is near and dear to us, the great Barry Horowitz. I just need to do this for a moment.
Oh, frack me. Come on.
That's right. Ladies and gentlemen, my bracket is intact for the men's NCAA tournament. I called it all four of the finalists are all locked into my bracket. I am on my way to winning the bracket in my office. I don't know what the prize is exactly. I'm hoping it's, some sort of gift card that I can, leverage somewhere. But I just want to say my powers of prognostication know no bounds. Well, actually, they kind of do, and apparently that was exposed in the women's bracket. So, so I have not done so well on the women's side of things. But just wanted to say, as the great Barry Horowitz once said, you gotta give yourself the pat on the back sometimes for a job well done. Thoughts, sir, on that?
Are you done? I think that if you're going to pleasure yourself online, you should at least get an OnlyFans. Make a couple bucks off it, sir. Just take the leap. Take the leap. Who cares what other people think?
Oh,
there's definitely a bunch of folks out there who are searching for swarthy.
All right, let's get into it.
I knew I'd be able to drive us to the topic here through that.
Oh my gosh!
Do you want to know what my two teams were from last week?
I'm sorry. Yeah,
what
I'm sorry. I was too busy gloating about my wondrous picks from the basketball tournament. Yes, sir. What were your outcomes from the 80s and the 2010s, 2020s?
I of course had Axe and Smash of Demolition, and then the Shield. As for coming out of the 10s and 20s. So
very nice.
Technically speaking, two at some time or another 3-person groups.
Yeah. Yep. Very nice. Very nice. All right. Well, we're actually going to do this in reverse order, mostly because Uncle Todd and I have, I think, a much better handle on the tag teams from the 90s than we do on the 2000s. And so there's going to be a little bit of chat GPTing going on as we talk about some of these teams because on
my side. I'm going purely on ignorance.
Oh my gosh. I have to go back and look up the names of some of these people because I'm just like, man, this is just crazy. All right. So for the 2000s, our field of 16 consists of DX against the Spirit Squad, Paul London and Brian Kendrick against William Regal and Eugene. That was a problematic situation there. Booker T and Goldust, which, man, that was some crazy shtick with those two. Oh, my God. That was some good comedy.
Kind of seems like they're almost remembered more for the backstage segments and vignettes than the actual matches.
Yes, and that is what I meant by the entertaining part. I think they were very much.
Was this during Tourette's Goldberg as Goldust as well?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah. We have Chris Jericho and Big Show, also known as Jerry Show, against, and I'm really going to see if Uncle Todd remembers this duo, Deuce and Domino. Nope.
Not even a chance.
Let's just say it was the closest Vince had to bringing a grease-like gimmick into the WWE with the 50s. We had a couple of 50s, hair slicked back sort of Vinnie Barbarino types. So a one pump, a two dump, a one bam boom. We have Crime Time against Rated RKO. We have Eminem, which I don't know if Uncle Todd remembers that group, against Los Guerreros, which I do believe was managed at a certain point by Chavo Guerrero Classic. So we have the Brothers of Destruction, Kane and The Undertaker versus, you can either say the Colognes or the Colons, but
I got your colon cleanser right here.
And then lastly, pulling up the rear, La Resistance versus the world's greatest tag team. So I will have to play Sherpa a little bit on this one, both
Pulling up the rear metaphorically and literally.
literally, yes. So we are going to start. I need to look this up because I don't remember who was in the Spirit. This is where my knowledge gets a little hazy.
I always love it when you're talking and typing at the same time. I picture all the bad hacking scenes in every single movie where they're typing. They're like, I need to get over the firewall.
That's right, because you do.
And that's
all right,
exactly
the members were Kenny Dykstra, Johnny Jeter, Mikey Mondo, Nikki, and Mitch. There was 5 of them. They were like I never understood this. They were like a pep rally sort of cheer gimmick where they were evil and
evil
underhanded. What's that?
I said evil cheerleaders.
Evil cheerleaders. They were around in the mid 2000s. They did win the World Tag Team Championships and defended it under the Freebird rule. So that was definitely a thing, and they were very closely aligned with one Vincent Kennedy McMahon. Draw me money,
because of course they were.
During his feud with DX. Haha! Look at that. We have a little bit of a pairing with some history.
Interesting.
So, sir, what is your and by DX? This is the Triple H and Shawn Michaels version, just the two of them as a team,
and the revival version.
A bit, yeah. It was like a revival, a little bit of a nostalgia act. So in the DX Spirit Squad bracket here, sir, what are you going with?
I mean, it really, I've wrung my hands over this one for quite a while. It actually kept me awake a couple of nights this past week, but I did go with DX.
Ah, very nice.
It was very, very close.
I bet it was. I bet it was. You know, given the fact I had to search and look up this team. Sorry.
I really felt that Mitch was the underrated member of the team.
Yes. Sorry, 1 second.
I feel like if the Spirit Squad made it here, we should have broken a couple of rules and just dropped like the Mean Street Posse in here, even though that it's completely out of the decade.
Had the Mean Street Posse. Oh my gosh, that was
Joey
great.
Abs, Pete Gas, and
Pete Gas.
I can't.
No
remember
greater
what the third
name
one
than
was.
Pete Gas.
Who was the other dude?
I don't know.
Because it was Joey Abs was like the worker, and then Pete Gas he was kind of he reminds me a little bit, like his facial expressions remind me a little bit of the what's his name, Iglesias, Fluffy.
Fluffy,
the comedian.
I know who you're talking about. Shoot,
maybe it's just the double chin. I don't know.
Yeah,
and the lack of a neck. But yeah, and then there was the other dude who had like the frosted tips, and yeah. It was a ridiculous gimmick, but yet somehow actually worked in a weird way.
All right. The Mean Street Posse was Pete Gas, Rodney.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, Rodney.
And Joey Abs. And they were friends of Shane McMahon.
From the mean streets of Greenwich.
From the mean streets of Greenwich. 3 guys in sweater vests trying to survive a bar fight in the middle of the Attitude Era. Yeah, that was something. That was a sight to behold. It
was. I mean, not a great sight, but it was a sight.
Yeah.
So who did you go with again?
I too had the very difficult decision to make and went with DX on this one.
Okay.
So, Okay, so then we come to let's see, and I had done some prior. One second, let me go back here. I had run some prompts here about 2 weeks ago when I was first setting all this up. So I wanted to make
About
sure
how
I had.
best to discuss Eugene in a way that isn't going to get us like booted
I
off
think
the
we're just
internet.
going to skip right past that. Is what I think we're going to do. So we have Paul London and Brian Kendrick against William Regal and Eugene. I'm going to just go right on ahead and say I'm going with London and Kendrick. They were actually the underrated when I ran the prompt to kind of rank all the teams for that decade. They actually were in the top 3 for that decade. London, because they had one of the longest tag team title reigns of that era. They held the titles for, I think, over. Let me just check one more time. But how long did Kendrick and what was the other guy's name? Kendrick and London.
Paul London, or as I like to call them, Laundrick.
That's a good one. That's a good one. Let's see. They held him for 331 days. So they almost held it for a full year. They won the titles in May of 2006 at Judgment Day, and then they lost them in April 17th of 2007 to none other than Deuce and Domino, your favorite greasers from back in the 50s.
From strength to strength, is I believe how you describe that. Yeah, as much
William
as I love
Regal
me
and
some
Eugene
William
was an
Reeves.
odd couple, which we won't go into too great detail because it has not aged well. Let's just say that.
The entire Eugene gimmick has not aged well.
No. So I'm going with London and Kendrick. Sir, what are you going with?
I'm going with Laundrick as well.
Laundrick, very nice, very nice. All right, the next one's interesting because we as we were just talking, Booker T and Goldust were a memorable and highly entertaining tag team together. As Uncle Todd mentioned, probably most known for their backstage shenanigans and promos and sketches because they did some crazy stuff. And you got Tourette's Goldust going on. You got Goldust, I remember, dressing up as Darth Vader at one point.
Dressing up as The Rock.
Dressing up as he was full on Bozo Loco at that point. So
Let's forget the Goldust promo of in the ring with Triple H and Ric Flair where they were just openly breaking, like they could not keep their stuff together.
No, they couldn't.
Especially Flair, because he was probably drunk. I mean, he was 8 sheets to the wind at that point. And you have Goldust there like cornbread, damn it.
Yep. And what's really funny is, and I don't know how familiar you are with Lance Cade and Trevor Murdoch, but they actually,
not
at least in the early 2000s, they were a team that had some measure of success. What's kind of funny is Trevor Murdoch is kind of the analog to Goldust in that duo because he was kind of a chunkier, Southern hillbilly sort of guy who just kind of was like a loose cannon. I think he was supposed to be kind of like who's the guy known for the lariat? Is it Stan Lane or no?
Well, I mean, you have Stan Lane. I think was. Then you have, of course, Bradshaw, clothesline from hell. But I think Stan Lane was the lariat guy.
I don't think I'm not. Wait a minute.
I seem to remember Mick Foley talking about Stan Lane and how he couldn't see without his glasses, so he would come in with that freaking lariat and just would clock you anywhere because he couldn't see. He could barely see.
Yeah. Let me see if I can find.
Just got to be a great feeling being in the ring, and it's like this dude is literally.
Oh, Stan Hansen. I'm sorry, Stan Hansen.
Oh, yes, you're right, Stan Hansen.
So
that's what I was thinking of.
so basically, Trevor Murdoch in a lot of ways was kind of channeling that Stan Hansen sort of vibe. So he would get a little crazy and when they did promos to kind of introduce this team, like there was one in particular. I remember like Lance Cade's just kind of like the smooth, Southern pretty boy, and he's paired up with this rough around the edges hillbilly, Trevor Murdoch, and he, like they're in a bar and he says something about them not being respected or something like that, and something about that like sets Murdoch, like Murdoch is just like he's sitting there just like spit and chew into a can, and he's like, they don't respect it, they don't respect it. And he just like walks off camera, and you just hear him out, it's like, I don't respect this, and he comes back in and he's like, Gah! And he's like, and then Cade looks at the camera and he's like, this is him on a good day.
Okay, I automatically now love this tag team a little bit more.
So they were actually highly entertaining. And Trevor Murdoch ended up going on to my understanding is back, I think, in the late 2010s, working with NWA. This was before obviously before COVID, and then I think he had some presence afterwards. But he ended up becoming like a world champion for the NWA independent sort of scene. And had some measure of success that way. So I don't have let me just look up real quick how long.
Any relation to Dirty Dick Murdoch?
No. But I think they tried to draw some of those comparisons with the way he was kind of conducting himself. Let me see WWE.
There's so many jokes going through my mind right now, and I'm not going to say any of them.
What do you mean? About what?
I was going to say they're trying to. Never mind. No, I can't even do that one and get away with it. Nope.
Okay. Was it about Cade and Murdoch? What?
It was the relation I was trying to draw between Dick Murdoch and Trevor Murdoch, and there was a joke about rubbing some of that magic on. Yeah.
Oh.
No. You drew it out of me, sir.
They were a team. They were a team from mid 2005 to mid 2008. They won the tag team titles early in their run. They ended up getting split up and repackaged in 2006. And then in late 2006, they reunited and had their strongest run, including multiple title reigns and a more serious presentation. So, so that is who they are. So, are you going with Cade and Murdoch?
I'm going with Booker and Goldust, just because that's who sticks in my mind. I have no idea who these other guys are, and
I have a special place in my heart for them. They made me laugh, and I really enjoyed Trevor Murdoch's kind of wild style. He really kind of brought some of that, like I said, Stan Hansen kind of vibe into what he did, and like, not that he was the greatest wrestler, but it was entertaining to watch, and it was something different in the product. And so I'm going to go with Cade and Murdoch over Booker T and Goldust.
All right. Well, we got our first kind of upset here.
Do you want me to look up Booker T and Goldust bona fides? Like, if they won the tag belts, now we good?
I think they did, but they were not together that long.
Okay.
It was kind of but I'm going with the fact that, like, when you see a lot of those vignettes of like funniest moments in WWE, and like they show up a lot.
They do.
They do. So that's just kind of what I'm going off of.
They did actually win the tag belts in 2002. The reign lasted 27 days, and then they dropped the titles to William Regal and Lance Storm. So, yes.
Okay.
All right. So our next bracket here is the greaser duo of Deuce and Domino, who would drive down in their 50s style car. They actually had a female manager named Cherry, who was dressed in the poodle skirt with...
I need another beer for this. I'm sorry.
Uncle Todd's like, you're killing me with this. There's so much material to mine here.
Going to the bullpen.
Oh, yeah, indeed.
Jeez. All right, yeah, continue. Oh, my God. Poodle skirt.
One second, hold on.
How did they not have the honky tonk man involved?
That's a very good question. You would have thought that would have been worked in. But they are taking on the duo of Chris Jericho and Big Show, known as affectionately as Jerry Show.
Well,
I don't know if I need to get into credentialing and bona fides here, because Deuce and Domino was not a very long-lived gimmick, shockingly. I know that sounds crazy in the era of the 2000s, that a 1950s gimmick was just not resonating with people. Don't know why.
I don't know how that would be even possible.
I'd love to know who talked Vince into it, or if this was Vince who just decided, I watched Grease one night and I think I'd like something like that in my product. That's gonna draw me money.
Well, if you believe Jim Cornette and him talking about how Vince McMahon and Vince Russo always used to talk about Sable, in breathless tones and talking, and apparently at one point it was mentioned, can you imagine her in Bobby socks and this and that? And it's like, Bobby socks. Okay.
Oh,
so
boy.
yeah, I mean, it would not surprise me that Grease was on cable and Vince was like, I've got an idea.
Yeah. Vince was very much with the times.
Yeah.
Ronda Rousey would agree.
Don't get me started.
No, she had a great line about, someone asked if she would go back. This is before he left, and she's like, no, there's I'm not going to go work for a company where there's an octogenarian pretending to know like what, is hip. And it was probably the one salient thing she actually said, that
Broken
made sense.
Clock is right twice a day,
Ah, indeed. All right. Our next bracket is crime time.
So we're both definitely in Jerry show.
Oh, I apologize. I didn't ask you for your pick. So you're going with Jerry show.
Yeah.
I'm also going with Jerry show. I don't have any desire to.
I think it's more Jerry show than Jerry show.
Oh, Jer show? Jer show.
Like Jericho, except it's Jerry show.
Jericho, Jerry show.
I know, but you're doing it more like Jerry show. Like it's Jerry show.
Here we go, folks. Once again, the the guardian of pronunciation has returned.
I would prefer the pontiff of pronunciation, if you please.
That's a good one. I like that. The pontiff of the master of disaster, the king of sting, the pontiff of pronunciation.
I'm gonna get myself a big hat.
The Count of Monte Fisto.
That was my favorite one.
That is amazing.
That is poetry, ladies and gentlemen. Poetry.
And then you get Rocky. He's like, "You got enough names?"
Yeah,
he's like, "Hold on, we got a few more." That was awesome. All right. So moving on to our next bracket, Crime Time versus Rated RKO. If you'd like, I can bring up some info on Crime Time.
Sure, why not?
Crime Time.
I don't have anything planned for the next couple hours. And this is crime with Y and time and crime, because we got to make sure all this stuff is stuff that they can trademark.
Let's see. Most colorful and controversial team of the mid-2000s. So Shad, Gaspard, and JTG were the members of it. They debuted in 2006. Let's see. Unfortunately, Shad Gaspard is no longer with us. He is actually remembered for some real-life heroism. In 2020, his son was pulled in by an undertow in the ocean, and he went to rescue him and successfully did, but he ended up drowning as a result of the rescue. So, so that is unfortunate. But they never won the tag belts. They were a fan favorite act. I think some of the controversy was they were basically like street savvy hustlers who would steal items and sell them. They were known for backstage gimmicks involving auction, pranks, and comedic skits. They are also the ones who, and I don't know if I ever sent this to you, or no, I think I did send this to you on Instagram. They are part of a skit where William Regal is standing next to Vince McMahon, and they're going, money, yeah. And then I think it's Shad puts the cap on Regal, and he's like, oh, all right. And then all of a sudden you see Regal get into it, and
that way that only Regal can.
Oh my God, it was hysterical. If you've never seen it, just look up William Regal and Crime Time, and you will come upon this, and it is very, very funny.
Which tying back to today, Danhausen has spoken very much about how he took a lot of facial expressions. Or no, was it Danhausen? I thought it was Danhausen. Talked about like how he William Regal, like his facial expressions in terms of, like, comedic wrestling, like was amazing. Like and even pointed out the one time when like he used the brass knuckles to knock out Big Show, and then Big Show fell on him and still got the win.
Yes.
So good.
And you just see him kicking. He's flailing. His legs are flailing, and he cannot do it.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so funny. So funny.
Yeah, that dude knew exactly how to milk every moment.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. No, William Regal. The first time I saw him, mid-90s WCW, and when he was Lord Steven Regal, and I honestly, when I would watch WCW Saturday Night, I would love to see him on the screen. He was just he just popped. You know what I mean? He was very emotive, like we talked about with the faces. I mean, just come out with this scowl on his face, which was hysterical. And then he would tag with Squire David Taylor, or Dave Taylor they called him, and Dave Taylor's, he's doing the snooty Brit. I mean, he looked like the perfect snooty British guy. And then you had Regal with just this scowl on his face. And I'm like, man, you two are totally made for each other. And and they were great wrestlers. They had great matches. They were fun to watch. And yeah, so Regal is a national treasure, is that man.
Yes.
All right.
And dragged a good match out of Goldberg.
He did.
To relate back to our pre-production meeting.
He did.
And
so
got
Rated
fired
Arcade.
for it.
What's that?
And got fired for it.
And he did. All right, so Rated RKO. Edge, Randy Orton, united by a common enemy, DX. Apparently DX was the bane of everyone's existence during this decade. They were they had a short run. They did win the World Tag Team belts. They defeated DX at Cyber Sunday 2006, and then they won the tag titles from DX shortly after that. Let's see what else. I don't know if there's anything else really to get into there. They each brought their own kind of personality to it. With a lot of these, I mean, Chris Jericho and Big Show were probably the same way. They had their own kind of shtick, but they gelled together and it just kind of made an entertaining amalgam that the fans liked to see. So. So in this matchup, sir, where are you going on this one? Are you going Crime Time, or are you going Rated RKO?
I'm going to go Rated RKO, if only because they did win the belts, and I think because of the history, it led to some good drama with when Edge came back at the Royal Rumble, and you had those moments with him and Randy Orton. It's unfair because it's carrying over into another decade, and they weren't even a team at that point. But damn it, I'm making the rules, so I'm going to allow it.
All right, I'm going to go with Rated RKO as well. I feel like they are the more decorated, even though they were a short-lived team. They had their moment, and I think they made the most of it. So I'm going to go with them over Crime Time. Our next one is MNM versus Los Guerreros. So let me just plug these two in.
Yeah, Eminem was a mystery to me.
So,
as I'm guessing it was to you, since you're Googling pretty hard right
now.
No,
I remember them. Oh, Guerreros.
Cuss you do. And don't tell me you were watching that when you're over there.
What do you mean?
I was gonna say, like, oh no, I remember them. That's one of the biggest.
I do
lies
remember
right
them.
up there with like every dad who's fallen asleep in front of the TV, and they're like,
not at all.
I was watching that.
Not at all. So Eminem was Johnny Nitro. If you remember, John, he also tagged up with the Miz at one point. I forget what he called himself. Johnny.
Who the hell? Who hasn't tagged with Miz at this point?
Well, fair enough. And
I'm
then
pretty
Joey
sure I
Mercury
had a match with him at some point.
Joey Mercury, I think, ended up being an agent after a little bit in WWE. He didn't have a super long career as a wrestler.
Sounds familiar.
And then they had a female manager named Melina. So that is the
was that the same Melina that was around before, or am I thinking of someone else?
Probably thinking of her.
Okay. All right.
So they were 3-time tag team champions. And were a big presence in the mid-2000s SmackDown tag scene. What else? They kind of played up a little bit of a like celebrity style, like they would walk down this red carpet with all these flashes going off, and yeah, it was very overdone.
Okay.
But they had feuds with London and Kendrick, and with the Hardy Boys. So
interesting.
Yes. So, complete package team, look chemistry titles, not just a gimmick. They could go bell to bell. And then we have Los Guerreros, which was Eddie and Chavo Guerrero. Their gimmick, of course, was lie, cheat, and steal. They were the anti-heroes who blurred the line between clever and crooked. They won the tag belts one time at Survivor Series 2002, held them for several months. They feuded with Edge and Rey Mysterio. They feuded with Team Angle. What else? It was, it was, of course, another notch in Eddie Guerrero's career, just, doing a tag team with his cousin, I believe, right? Chavo?
I'm pretty sure, yeah, Chavo's his cousin.
Yeah.
I mean,
So
separated
overall,
by a decent number of years, like one of those situations, where it's like, oh, yeah, we're cousins, but you're old enough to be my uncle. It seems like.
So I am going to go with Los Guerreros. Eminem was a good team, but I have to go with the Hot, and the Hot goes with Eddie and Chavo because they were a phenomenal team together and a lot of fun to watch. So I'm going to go Los Guerreros on this one. How about you, sir?
Easy. I mean, come on now. Eddie and Chavo, just from a wrestling standpoint, it's hard to imagine too many folks working better than those two.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, sorry, Eminem, but Eddie and Chavo for the win.
All right. And then I need to look up who were...
You don't need to look this one up. I'll tell you.
I know, but I want to sound like intelligent. Oh, okay. So the Colognes were Carlito and Primo Colon.
Oh, okay.
And they I don't believe
apples.
Let's see, they unified the tag belts. They won the World Tag Team titles and the WWE Tag Team titles in 2009. And what else? That's pretty much about it. So they were tag champs kind of in the later part of the 2000s. And they go up against Keep Rolling, 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 Rolling,
No,
Rolling.
let's just forget that song ever happened. Let's just
The Brothers of Destruction. It's got to be Kane.
Thank you. Yes.
Keep rolling, rolling. Okay.
Tim, I'm telling you, I'm on a friggin' knife's edge right now.
Should I start doing a rendition of Golden for you? Can have that earwig in your head for
Brothers of Destruction, ladies and gentlemen.
Brothers of Destruction, Kane and the Undertaker. So who are you going with?
My Brothers of Destruction. I mean, it's one of the great tales of wrestling, right up there with Dusty and Rick and all those feuds that have gone for multiple decades.
Yes.
The two of these, and then to have a period of time where they are together in a dominant force,
them, eh?
Yeah.
All right. I go with them.
Colons.
Yeah. They flush the colons. So, and then our last matchup, pulling up the rear, is La Resistance, world's greatest tag team, who consists of Shelton Benjamin and Charlie Haas. And they were aligned with Kurt Angle. They formed in 2002. They held the WWE tag belts twice. They had a dominant run in the SmackDown tag division during the Ruthless Aggression era, and they were known consistently for high quality matches rather than long gimmick heavy storylines. So these guys were very good. Probably, or they are an influence for later teams like the Revival. They were really considered one of the best pure wrestling tag teams of the 2000s, and earned a lot of respect from their performances. So they are going up against La Resistance, which was basically two French guys, and no one really cared about them. So I can look them up if you want, but
no, I'm good with that.
All right, I'm going to go with the world's greatest tag team moving forward into the next round, as I assume you will also.
Yes,
all right,
indeed.
so we advance to the next round, and so my bracket is, I think it's the same as yours, is DX and London and Kendrick. Is that correct?
Laundrick, as I like to call them. Yes,
Laundrick. Go do the Laundrick. It sounds like laundry.
Or something dirtier. I mean, it's...
Of course, with you, it's something dirtier. I bring laundry to the table, and you bring something lascivious.
I'm just saying It might have been the title of one of those movies back behind the curtain of the day.
Oh, good God.
One of those movies you had to buy on the pay-per-view late at night. Or early in the morning. I mean, it depends.
I just love how you snuck that in. You watch it late at night.
Yeah, the cover of darkness, all the shades pulled. Maybe even having a blanket over your head just to make sure.
My God.
To cover your shame. Where's Jimmy Dyson need him?
Yeah, no kidding. No kidding. All right, sir. DX, London, and Kendrick, what are you going with?
I'm going to go with DX. I mean, and surely and purely on brand name appeal at this point, that's, yeah.
Know what I'm going with?
You like that laundry, don't you?
I'm going with London and Kendrick.
Yeah.
That's what I'm going with.
Mm-hmm. You want some of
They
that
were
hot
the-
laundric action. Excuse me, I need change for this. $5.
5 minutes ago, he's talking about being right on the edge of a knife, and now, it's all pouring all the time.
I'm over the edge at this point.
He's better now, folks. Look out.
Well,
so with the team that had the longest tag title reign of the decade, I have to go with London and Kendrick.
yeah, they're long and strong.
Good Lord. Just stop it.
And they're down to get friction on.
Oh, my God.
As
You are
Sir
ridiculous.
Mix-a-Lot would say.
All right. My bracket is God dang it. My bracket is Caden Murdoch against Jerry Show. You have, I think, Booker T and Goldust against Jerry Show.
Yes.
What are you going with, sir?
I'm gonna go with Booker T and Goldust.
Mm.
Yeah, I and just purely
So the
because
team that did very little wrestling and more acting is advancing in the tag team.
pretty much, yeah,
bracket. All
yeah,
right.
because I don't know any better.
All right. Well, you do, but you just choose not to. So,
But do I really?
oh my God. All right. I have Caden Murdoch and Jerry Show. Jerry Show. I'm going to go with Caden. I'm advancing Caden Murdoch past Jerry Show. I was much more of a fan and enamored with that team than Jerry Show, so I'm going with Caden Murdoch.
Wow.
All right. The next bracket. Do you have Rated RKO and Los Guerreros?
I do. C.
Okay, so I have the same. What are you going with?
I'm going with Rated RKO.
You're just throwing Eddie to the side like that?
Well,
Sacrilege!
Yeah, I know. It kind of is. I know. I kind of feel bad about it.
Well, have no fear. I will be representing the Guerreros as we move forward here. I'm going to go with Los Guerreros over Rated RKO.
Okay.
A gimmick team. No, I'm kidding. They were good, but they were kind of a gimmick team.
Well, yeah.
Versus Los Guerreros, which was a true tag team. So,
Yes.
yes.
For the purists.
Of course. And then speaking of the purists, one of the best pure wrestling tag teams, the world's greatest tag team, up against the Brothers of Destruction. Keep rolling.
Who do you got?
Excuse me. I actually went with the Brothers of Destruction.
I thought so. Me as well.
Because as great as Charlie Haas and Shelton Benjamin were, Kane and Undertaker, Kane and Taker, that's Taker is a tough duo. And quite honestly, at one point, we're literally division killers. So it was just kind of, it would just as we were talking about earlier with, having to deal with Lesnar and Obafemi as some independent wrestler from the local scene, getting called in to play security for Adam Pearce.
Yeah.
You didn't want to be the jobber team going up against the Brothers of Destruction because you were in for some pain.
Lamb to the slaughter.
Indeed. All right. So in my semifinals, I have the team of London and Kendrick against Lance Cade and Trevor Murdoch. Who do you have, sir? You have DX versus Booker T and Goldust?
Goldust. I've got
right.
You've got all the substance. I've got all the style. So,
all right. So I'm actually going to advance. This is where I have to jump off the Cade and Murdoch train, and I'm going to advance London and Kendrick, the longest reigning tag champs of the decade, into the finals. They may not be super well known in terms of notoriety, but they have the bona fides to make it into the finals. And so I'm advancing them as they have a bit more over the team of Cade and Murdoch.
You heard it here, folks. First here, folks. Tim likes the Laundrick. He's going to ride him right to the finals.
Keep going. Just keep going. All right. Who are you going with for your semifinal bracket?
I'm going to go with DX.
Oh, advancing. Really?
Again, it's a legacy act and
gimmick team here, my friend. Come on now.
Who here isn't really?
Oh, gosh.
Really. You've got like the purists who everyone's like, who? I'll go with DX. Fine. Sue me.
All right. And then who else are you going with for your second? I was in the wrong bracket. So from semifinal bracket 1 to semifinal bracket 2. So you advance DX in the first bracket. Second bracket, I have Los Guerreros and Brothers of Destruction. You have Rated RKO and Brothers of Destruction. Who are you advancing?
Brothers of Destruction. Again, like the legacy, they are a true, as true of a team as you're going to get when you combine two very larger than life characters. And this is one of those times when it's like, yeah, we'll just put them together. And it kind of worked, but it was also because they put them together after feuding off and on. And then, it worked for various reasons. And like you say, they were kind of division killers. So you got to give them a little bit of credit here.
So in my finals, I agree with you. Brothers of Destruction as well.
You're going to let them trample the legacy of Eddie and Chavo.
As great as the Guerreros are, as great as their history is, they have run up against the division killers and are getting a wedgie style power bomb to put them out of their misery.
They're getting a laundricking, is what you mean.
Also known as the last ride.
Last ride. Well, then apparently you have Laundrick versus Brothers of Destruction. I have DX versus Brothers of Destruction.
And much like the match probably would go, as great as London and Kendrick are with the bona fides and the championship title reign, the Brothers of Destruction are putting a whipping on those boys. They are coming out of the 2000s as my pick for the tag team of the decade, The Undertaker and Kane Taker. They are my pick for the 2000s. And where are you going, sir?
I'm going with DX.
Ah!
No, I'm kidding. I'm going with
Brothers
of Destruction. Come on.
You've got to be kidding me.
I'm going with Brothers of Destruction. All right. Now I'm gonna take a quick 30-second timeout. I'm going to reassess my mind space and try and get rid of all the dirty jokes that I've been making, even as funny as they are.
They are pretty funny.
I mean, it is. Yeah. But I'll be back in just a moment.
All right.
A few moments later.
All right. So, sir, now that we've concluded the 2000s, we now go in the time machine back to the 1990s. That was kind of like rewinded. And here is our list of the tag teams, some of the best. 16 teams from the 1990s. They cross, again, the 2000s were mostly WWE teams because that was the only show in town.
Yeah.
This is back when we had WCW and WWE fighting tooth and nail. And so we have the following pairings, and they go thusly. The Dudley Boys will face the Headbangers. Remember the Headbangers?
I do, actually. Was it Thrash and Mosh or something like that?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that was another great, probably Vince creation there. I know. We have the Quebecers, who had probably one of the best theme songs. We're not the Mounties. It was literally the Mounties theme, like the Mountie theme song of Jacques Rougeau. but for some reason we're not the Mounties. It's just like, who thought this was a good idea? Anyways, they're going to take on the Hardy Boys. That's going to be a real tough one. So Matt and Jeff, and then we have you didn't know?
You better call somebody.
Your ass better call somebody. That's right. The New Age Outlaws will go up against Turn It Up. Remember that? Too Cool doing. You had Brian Christopher and what's his name?
Scotty Too Hottie.
Scotty Too Hottie doing their shtick dancing.
I mean, kind of is a third man in there.
He was the foundation of that team.
Well, yeah,
quite literally.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Without him, I don't know how far that team would have gone. So,
yeah. Scotty Too Hottie's still wrestling these days. I believe he was just at the show.
He was at Limitless?
Maine.
Yeah.
Just the other night. Didn't make it to that one.
I think he's from Maine.
Could be.
I think he lives in Maine.
All right. That would explain it.
And then we get into some interesting WCW/WWE teams. We have the Steiner brothers going up against the Nasty Boys, which, man, if there were two people that looked and lived the gimmick, it was them.
Yeah.
And then we're going to have our first really tough decision we have to make. We have Edge and Christian, who highly decorated team with, part of the triumvirate that established the tables, ladders, and chairs match for all time, going up against bum, 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 bum. What a great theme song. And just seeing freaking Ron Simmons walk the ramp, you're just like, so again, going back to Oba and Lesnar, that's another ass whooping you didn't want to be on the other side of. Good Lord Almighty.
Oh, yes. There are people like Ron Simmons, Oba Femi, Brock Lesnar. There's people who, like, even if I know it's a work, I'm running.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to take the chance. I just don't. There was an interview where it was on the Taker's podcast where Bradshaw was on, and he was talking about how Ron would scare people before the match, and Taker was like, Ron could scare you by saying the alphabet.
Well, he's got that booming bass of a voice. Jesus.
He's like, he'd get to C, and you'd be like, he wants to kill me. He wants to kill me. I'm screwed.
Yeah.
And that's Taker saying that.
Yep.
I'm like, okay, all right, yeah, that sounds about right.
That's pretty funny. Next, we have a very interesting combination here. We have the Legion of Doom, formerly known as the Road Warriors.
Yes.
Against, and again, we're talking about the 1990s here. So the early part of the 90s, Legion of Doom had a fair amount of success. And then the late 90s, they got screwed by Vince's crazy booking against the Rock and Sock Connection. So that's going to be an interesting one. This one I know is near and dear to Uncle Todd's heart. The Hollywood Blondes. Steve Austin, baby. And Brian Pillman. What a freaking crazy combo those two were.
Yep.
Against the Outsiders, NWO. That is Hall and Nash. And then we have in our last bracket the Harlem Heat against Owen Hart and the British Bulldog.
Yes, indeed.
So we have some
interesting matchups here.
We do. All right, so let's start at the top. The Dudley Boys versus the Headbangers. Do I even need to go into anything about the Headbangers on this one?
Thou shalt not F with the Dudley Boys.
Oh, and ladies and gentlemen, we're talking about the ECW Dudley Boys, which were multiple-time tag team champions. We're talking about the WWE run of the Dudley Boys, which, again, multiple-time tag team champions, and 1/3 of the 6 men who came up with one of the sickest match concepts ever and pulled it off not once, but twice to steal the show. So,
I mean, you don't get much more. Like, the Dudley Boys in this bracket are probably the best representation of, like, filling the entire decade of, like, holy shit.
Yeah.
Who else was this good over this period of time? Like, it just fell about right where from beginning to end, these guys were fracking amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, Dudley Boys all the way for the look, for their presentation, for what they did in the ring, for the promos, all of it was just you couldn't have done it. You couldn't have come up with it any better.
Yep. I 100% agree. The Headbangers, they were mosh and thrash, like you said.
They were all right. They were serviceable. Like they
were.
I mean, the thing is, like, I from my opinion, I think the '90s were actually a pretty good decade for tag teams. Maybe they weren't always treated the best. Mosh and thrash weren't that terrible. I mean, they were definitely lower echelon.
Yeah.
They had a decent look, and they were kind of like, okay, yeah, they're generic, sort of, okay, this is what Vince thinks is like punk.
Yeah.
Okay, sure. Up against the Dudley Boys, sorry, fellas. Just like the matches went in real life. You don't stand a chance.
Yeah. All right. Let's see. Next one is, the second third of that triumvirate. We have the Hardy Boys versus the Quebecers. The Quebecers were made up of Jacques Rougeau and Pierre Ouellette. They are actually 3-time WWF Tag Team Champions. They were at one point managed by Raven himself, although he was known in WWE as Johnny Polo at the time. This was long. This was before Raven became a thing, and then after that, it was all uphill from there. They were I love this. They were known for their "We're Not the Mounties" theme song. I love it. And they did actually wrestle as the Amazing French Canadians in World Championship Wrestling from 96 to 97. So that is,
well, they have that going for them.
They have some fine gimmicks over there in WCW. All right. So the Hardy Boys, Matt and Jeff, again, got to sing their praises as, the second duo who made TLC must see watching for a pay-per-view, and just had some amazing matches, really coming up as jobbers and then becoming, a great team alongside Lita. And then, just making history with the Dudleys and Edge and Christian. So with that said, Hardy Boys and Quebecers, I'm going to go with the Hardy Boys.
Yeah. Who was the guy who Lita was originally introduced with?
Oh, his name was
a Mexican dude?
He was, oh crap, what the heck was his name?
But yeah, they packaged them together, and very rapidly she transitioned to the Hardy Boys, and then that dude just disappeared off the face of the earth. Almost like it was the prequel to Mark Miro and Sable.
S.A. Rios.
God love him. He the writing was on the wall after Lita was around for a little while that Lita's way bigger than S.A. is, and like I say, it's the same thing that ended up happening to Mark Miro. Like, bye-bye.
Yep.
Bye-bye.
Yeah.
Hardy Boys win this one in a rout.
Indeed. All right, our next one is the New Age Outlaws versus Too Cool.
Too Cool was a nice little comedy act that could also work all right. I mean, of course, you have like the lamest of all finishing moves, the worm, but it was over like Rover, which is one of those things.
Crowds would go crazy for him doing that.
Which is, it's kind of funny. Like the 90s were this haven for like finishing moves that were so over and yet the dumbest things possible, like this and the People's Elbow. Two of the dumbest finishers of all time, and yet people loved them. That being said, the New Age Outlaws were just part of that kind of revelation that was DX, that people just took to and became a thing that reached beyond wrestling. Like there's those things like Austin 316 and DX kind of also reached beyond wrestling to the point where you saw people who are like in the NFL or whatever, like wearing a DX shirt or something. It's like, what? How did that escape the bubble? And of course the intro, which I mean, plus or minus, it kind of really started part of the sing along with the wrestler, wave that we are now reaping the whirlwind of, at the moment. So love him or hate him for that.
Lest we not forget, both members of the team had a tie into a really bad country act. You had Road Dogg, who was known as the Real Double J, Jesse
before
James,
that, the roadie.
and the roadie. And then you had Billy Gunn, who was just coming off of that fine gimmick known as Rockabilly, where he was managed by Honky Tonk Man. Because Lord knows in the 90s, people wanted a lot of Honky Tonk Man. Kind of as much as they wanted Deuce and Domino in the 2000s. So,
and then he went on to Mr. Ass.
He did.
And then now in AEW is known as Daddy Ass.
Yes. Yeah. He's had a career.
I love this. There was someone who basically, they were talking about, there was on Twitter, which I don't go on there, but I saw it like on Instagram or something. Someone had talked about how Billy Gunn is outrageously in shape for his age. Because I mean, he's like one of those genetic freaks who's like, and he works his ass off too, I'm sure,
Yes.
But he is ridiculously in shape for a man in his 50s. And someone, I forget who it was, joked that that Billy Gunn once farted in the WWE locker room, and everyone gained 5 pounds of muscle just by being in proximity to his farts.
That's funny. That is funny.
But yeah, Edge Outlaws, go with that one.
Yeah, I'm going the same. I'm going the New Age Outlaws. The next one is the Steiner brothers, Rick and Scott versus the Nasty Boys. And the Nasty Boys did have some measure of success both in WWE and WCW. But the Steiner brothers, for me, they were an eye-popping, eye-opening tag team because they didn't just come in and were given a push. They brought in, and this is more WWE than WCW for me, but when they came to WWE, they brought like offense that you just had not seen in the WWE at all. Like that whole like bulldog from off Scott's shoulders was just something you just didn't see. Like Demolition's finisher was like the most violent sort of thing you saw, or the Legion of Doom doing their Doomsday device was the most violent thing you saw. When you saw Scott Rick go off the top and deliver that bulldog, I mean, that was like incredible. And then you had Scott doing the Frankensteiner. Just they had so much, and Scott was just so athletic too. I mean, just with the suplexing and everything that he would do.
From dudes that size and that muscle bound, to see them move with the agility that they did was crazy at that time.
It absolutely was. So for that reason, I am going to go with the Steiner brothers over the Nasty Boys. They had multiple tag team title reigns in the WWE and WCW, and they are a highly decorated team. So I'm going to advance them into the next round. How about you, sir?
I'm going to go with the Steiners as well for all the reasons you mentioned.
Very nice. Can we pause just for a moment? I have a child who has just texted me, and I need to respond. So
you
just a moment,
do that, sir.
Thank you.
12 seconds later.
All right, we pick it up with the next bracket is Edge and Christian, the final duo in the trio of teams that made some amazing tag team history in WWE with those amazing TLC matches. We have Edge and Christian, and this is a tough one. Edge and Christian go up against Bradshaw and Ron Simmons, the APA.
The Acolyte Protection Agency.
That's right. You have the strong man, guns for hire, who did hold, I believe, the tag belts maybe once or twice, I thought.
Could be, yeah.
And then you have Edge and Christian, who were just a highly decorated tag team. And did some just amazing work with a variety of teams from that era. Who, sir, are you going with on this one? Because man, this is a tough one. This is a tough one.
My head says Edge and Christian. My heart says APA because I loved the chemistry between Bradshaw and Simmons.
Yes,
I loved the comedicness mixed with the badassery of just the whole thing. The fact that they had a standalone door that showed up at every arena that you had to knock on, that Rock went around one time and they cussed him out until he went around, knocked on the door, and then they welcomed him in because they were in there drinking beer and playing poker and smoking cigars. Like,
that is funny.
And also because that gimmick, in a way, made a lot of sense.
Yeah. Yep.
Like, it made a lot of sense. Like, okay, we're in this business and in this world of professional wrestling where anyone can run in and attack you from any angle and this and that and the other.
Mhm.
Like, you need some help and no one's really your friend. Like, well, what can you do? Well, we can pay these guys and they're willing to do it.
And
people
there
are
were
scared
some
of them.
characters and teams that did that
Yeah.
they would basically use it as a gimmick, as a way for them to win a match. You know, if it was a team that shouldn't, or an individual that shouldn't have beaten their opponent, and all of a sudden the APA comes down and is the great equalizer and all of that.
Mhm.
It was hysterical. It was,
Yeah.
and the crowd would get fired up to, like, when their song hit, the crowd was just like, you know, really into it because they knew those two ass kickers were coming in and they were going to lay some pain down on someone. So,
Well, yeah, because
phenomenal.
you had that riff, that dan that you were doing, but then you also had that dive bomb, that
Oh yeah, yeah.
I was like,
Oh
yeah,
so
it was
good.
perfect.
So
Great
good.
theme song. I mean, at the end of the day, though, Edge and Christian, the much better workers, you know, because
Yeah.
I mean, the APA is one note. Like, they're going to come in and kick your ass. And wasn't it the Nasty Boys that they essentially just beat the living hell out of, and then they left? They left the promotion shortly thereafter, or was it
No,
someone else?
it wasn't the Nasty Boys. It was the team that was kind of like, I can't think of their names. They were kind of like the Nasty Boys, but from ECW. It was Flyboy, Rocco Rock, and
Yes. Public
I can't
Enemy.
think- Public Enemy. Yes.
Yes.
That was the team
Okay.
where they got the crap kicked out of them by those two because they just, I don't know, they had an
wanted
attitude.
Well, no, they wanted to change the finish, like, as their music is playing, and like, yeah, we don't
Oh.
want to do this, and they're like, okay, and they just went out and just beat the living hell out of them in a working, you know, way, but you know, oh my gosh, so
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got to go with Edge and Christian just because of the actual influence on the title scene, the division, all of that.
Yeah.
As entertaining as the APA was, yeah, they were there kind of just to be the badasses, and Edge and Christian managed to kind of play into some more notes than that. So, who do you got?
I have Edge and Christian also, for the same reasons you've stated. It was a tough decision, but you know, had to go with the more decorated team. You know, and if I'm nothing else, I'm consistent. I'm going with the more decorated teams. You know, the teams that had impact during that decade, and Edge and Christian. Not that the APA didn't, but it's just I got to give the edge to them because they just had, like, it wasn't just that they had
the edge,
a fun gimmick. I mean, Edge and Christian did have, you know, 5 seconds of flash photography or whatever the thing.
Pause
I mean,
for 5 seconds for flash photography.
They did all these. I mean, they were entertaining, but they also were title holders. They were in the mix constantly and just kept things entertaining and fun and had great matches with teams. So I mean, it was everything. You know, they were with Gangrel for a period of time when they were first getting established, and they just kind of exploded onto the scene and had a tremendous amount of success. And so yeah, I'm going to go with Edge and Christian.
All right,
our next one is the Rock and Sock Connection versus What a Rush, the Legion of Doom.
This one is this one is actually a lot tougher. But at the same time, like, this is after the Road Warriors kind of heyday. You know what I mean? Like,
it is and it isn't. Can I?
But we're talking about the Legion of Doom here, or unless we're talking Road Warriors / Legion of Doom, which are is that what we're dealing with?
Here's the juxtaposition.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like the Legion of Doom is very strong in the early 90s.
Okay.
And weaker as the decade goes. The Rock and Sock Connection was a flash in the pan in the late 90s. You know what I mean? Yes. So I'm just saying they kind of offset each other a little bit. And it's, to your point, it's a hard decision because you're trying to weigh the history of the Legion of Doom with the impact and star power and entertainment of the Rock and Sock Connection. And unfortunately, the Legion of Doom were a shell of themselves towards the late 90s. So to your point, I mean, they were very strong in the 80s, had a small point of, you know, a small amount of success or some success in the 90s, but not longevity wise, and then just kind of sputtered out at the end of the decade. Whereas Rock and Sock were kind of like the thing toward the end of the decade.
So who do you got?
I went back and forth on this one. I have a feeling I know who you're going to go with, so I feel better about this choice. I'm actually going to go with the Legion of Doom on this one.
I knew you were going to. I knew, and rightfully so. Like, I can totally see the argument for it.
I give the edge to them with what they did through at least the first half of the 90s.
Mm-hmm.
They did go back to WCW. I think they ended up being more of a split duo at that point in time. I think Animal was doing his own thing, and Hawk unfortunately was dealing with drug issues and stuff, and then sadly they came back to WWE, did the whole Legion of Doom 2000 bit, and then started to play up Hawk's addiction problems, which I just was like, this was something that this duo did not need, but they also weren't retiring either, so it was, I don't know. It was just an unfortunate kind of end for them, because you just kind of wish they just ended on a strong note and then just retired on top, sort of thing. Because they were I mean, next to the Dudleys, they're one of the most decorated tag teams.
Yeah,
so,
but I mean, it's also from that era when guys just didn't retire.
Well, fair, yeah, yep.
Like it just never was a thing. Like you always kept working, So I see.
So I went with the Legion of Doom on this one. Who did you end up going with?
As predicted, I went with the Rock and Sock Connection.
I knew it!
Because again, like Legion of Doom is Road Warriors light by the time they get to WWF, WWE. And they do peter out. And Rock and Sock is one of those things, like they did win the tag gold. I think a couple times. And
let me see.
And they actually, one of them might have been post 2000, so it might not technically count for this decade. But anyways, they were entertaining. It was also two of the most over guys in the company, in the main event guys in the company. 3 times.
3 times they won it,
and it was always an interesting dynamic between the two. So I mean, it's just very rare. Like we've got Rated RKO in the other one. You got Jericho. Like, yeah, those are all technically main event guys, but I feel like this is one of those periods where it's like they were main event guys and they were also just like so over. To put them together was almost like, well, why would you do, like, it's just not a normal thing to do that, because why would you put them in one place? Like we want them working in other places. It's one of those teams that's like, this should not have really happened in a rational world, and yet it did. So I just kind of appreciate that. So I'll go with Rock and Sock on this one.
All right. Our second to last bracket is the Hollywood Blondes, which was Steve Austin and Brian Pillman, versus the Outsiders, Scott Hall and Kevin Nash of the NWO. Like how I did that.
How long do they really wrestle as a tag team? Because I don't necessarily think of them as a tag team. I think of them as a duo.
Sorry, who
Outsiders. Sorry.
Oh, the Outsiders.
Because I think of them coming into WCW as a duo, but not necessarily as a tag team. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like they're paired, but yet were they really that much of a? Did they wrestle a lot of tag matches together?
So Hall and Nash were primarily active as a tag team in WCW from 96 to 99, making them one of the most dominant teams of the Monday Night Wars. They won the WCW tag belt 6 times. And then they later reunited in TNA, and they did, because TNA was paying big bucks and Nash and Hall were going to where the money was, and they were past their prime, basically through the mid to late 2000s. So, so they actually had a pretty good run.
All right.
As well as being, as being the catalyst for one of the more edgy and really interesting storylines of the 90s, which was the NWO. This whole concept of, holy crap, is WWF really invading their competition? I mean, that for a while was what really got that going, and then when they brought Hogan into the mix, it was off to the races. So but yeah, they primarily function as a tag team for most of WCW's heyday, before it came crashing down.
All right.
And any other questions I can answer?
No, I just had that question because I'm gloriously ignorant on WCW from this time period.
Let me see. Provide information on the Hollywood Blondes tag team. Let's see. Hollywood Blondes. Just trying to see what they accomplished. Let's see. During '93, they were only together for less than a year. So they weren't even together for a full year. But they became one of the most beloved and entertaining heel teams of that era, known for their arrogance, technical skill, and high-flying style. They won the WCW World Tag Championship on March of '93, defeating Ricky Steamboat and Shane Douglas. They often defended... they won both, I guess, WCW and NWA World Tag Team Championships, so they defended both belts, featuring a distinct, arrogant style, including wearing matching vests and carrying around a trademark neck chain gifted by Pillman to Austin. Most notable rivalry was with Flair and Arn Anderson, where they did a popular parody. I got to find this: a Flair for the Gold talk show segment called "A Flair for the Old." Hey, Roman could pull some from that. And then the team split in October of '93 after dropping the titles to Arn Anderson and Paul Roma, with Austin turning on Pillman after a match, leading to a brief feud before they both went to become major stars in WWE. So they are really kind of like a flash in the pan sort of team. Like they made a amazing impact for a very short period of time. They were together. So yeah,
I'm gonna have to give this to the Outsiders.
Yep, I agree. As much as I love that Austin Pillman team, you can't argue against the longevity and the championship reigns that the Outsiders had. So
indeed.
I agree with you. Our last bracket, some would call this a ringer. Harlem Heat versus Owen Hart and the British Bulldog. Oh my gosh. I'm trying to think, how's it start? I was like, ice, something like that. It's like cold, or something like that. And then kind of like wires up.
Yeah, it was not a great theme song, but yet it was kind of great.
I thought it was a great theme song. I love that team. They were awesome.
Well, no, it's kind of a cheesy. It's one of those deals where it's almost like Ted Lasso when he's talking about Hallmark movies. Like, they suck, but they're also kind of great. But they mostly they're also kind of great. Like, it's one of those things where you try and play both sides of it to be cool, but you can't. You're just like, no, they're kind of terrible, but they also.
Booker T and Stevie Ray. And the best part was when they would walk the aisle, just all the trash talking they were doing. And I absolutely loved when they were honored a few years ago in the Hall of Fame. They came out, of course, to their song, and Stevie Ray is still he just walks right up to the camera and he's just talking smack about, I don't know what, it's like, we're here again. Yeah, I mean, he was just like all in the moment. It was just so cool. I'm like, that's why I love those guys. They just brought a swagger to the table, and they were and just a really, really good tag team. Let me look up like how many times they held the belts, because
they are one of the, like, if you want to talk about the big tag teams of all time, like, kind of foundational, like, as a traditional tag team,
they are 10-time World Tag Team Champions, a record for the promotion.
10-time,
and they were inducted into the Hall of Fame in 2019. Yep. So that was they were great, and I got to tell you, like, they meant business. Like, Stevie Ray could stare a hole in you. You know what I mean? Like, he looked like one bad, mother, shut your mouth. I mean, I'm only talking about Stevie Ray.
Oh, those two dudes, like, they were carved. Yeah. They were carved out of, like, granite. Had the look, the whole deal. Yeah.
Absolutely. So, and then, Owen and Bulldog, kind of working the family gimmick and having a successful run together. I think they held the tag belts once or twice. But, again, I think they were kind of a short-lived sort of thing. I mean, eventually it became like all about the Hart family and kind of all the stuff with Brett and everything. So they were, they were together. But, when you're weighing impact between these two teams, I mean, Harlem Heat was just huge, and they were huge across the 90s. Like, they started, let me find the year. They started in 93 in WCW and had this run all the way through, 2000, when, Booker T started splitting off into more of a singles career. I think Stevie Ray kind of backed off in kind of the late 90s as well. So yeah,
Well, there was that feud about who owned the Harlem Heat gimmick, and it was like Harlem Heat 2000 because that was a thing back then.
Yep. So I'm going to go with the Harlem Heat myself. So.
Yes, I agree.
All right, so we gotten through the first round. So now our first quarterfinal bracket here. I have the Dudleys and the Hardys. I think you have the same.
I thought we were going further than that. Yes, I thought we were I thought we were one level ahead. We're not.
No. we're getting there. There will be less overviews now because we covered all the teams. So
yes, we're in the battle of the Z's. Hardy boys and Dudley boys.
This is a hard one. A hard one.
It's so unfair that this is an early matchup. So unfair.
Yes. But this is why we adjudicate.
All right. You want to go first, or I go first?
I can go first. I've had you go first a lot. I'm just doing a quick comparison, Hardys and Dudleys.
No, see, I don't need that.
No. I mean, it's more about, so the Dudleys have about 30 championships across multiple major promotions.
Holy crap.
There's not really a number associated with the Hardy Boys, multiple tag team titles in WWE, TNA Impact, and Ring of Honor. Just trying to see. Let's see. Yeah, but all that being said, I'm heavily in the bag for the Dudley Boys. I not to take anything away from the Hardy Boys, but I just think, and you said it best earlier, the fact that they are in a lot of ways the representation of that decade, starting all the way in ECW, going all the way through to WWE. They just had success everywhere they went, and they were and just the way they engaged the fans. I mean, you talk about night and day. You have the Dudleys from ECW, where I'm surprised that Bubba Ray wasn't arrested at certain points with some of the stuff he was saying to the crowd. And then,
have you ever watched the when they had the Dudley Boys in the ring, and they were yelling at one of the people in the front row, and I believe this was the Hammerstein in New York.
Yes.
And Paul came to the ring and refunded like double the money, and told him, "Get your ass, security, get his ass out of here."
Yep.
Came down and literally counted the money on the ring apron.
Yep.
I'm like, that's kind of like one of the most ECW moments ever. Like, just, you know what? Here you go.
And
Get
then
out.
And then you have him in WWE with the what up and all that stuff, and it's just like, it's like raw, family friendly.
but even the thing is, like, they knew like how to get over, and even when they go to TNA, and you have them working independently, all like they were always thinking about how do we make this work? How do you that? Great wrestling minds as well as great wrestlers, and that's why they were so successful.
That you bring up a really good point, because when we did the 2000s, I mean, it is kind of a shame we didn't include the Dudleys and the Hardys, to be honest, because they did have a bit of a run in that decade. I mean, the Dudleys were mostly in TNA, and they did a lot there. But
I think a lot of the stuff with the Hardys, especially in the 2000s, it was single stuff.
Yeah,
that's when you had Matt Hardy, you had Jeff Hardy getting his title run. Like, it was more of a separate thing, Yeah.
So I'm going with the Dudleys on this one. Unfortunately, we got to say bye-bye to Matt and Jeff, but never fear, because D'Lo and not D'Lo. Oh my God, Devon, and Bubba Ray will.
You best not meet Devon at a convention anywhere, because you got an ass whooping coming for that one.
Fair enough. I assume you're going the same, sir.
I am. Yes, Dudleys.
Right. So now we got the New Age Outlaws versus the Steiner Brothers.
Yes.
I can go first on this one.
Okay.
As much as I enjoy the New Age Outlaws, I'm advancing the Steiners, because they are the wrestling giants, if you will, of tag team wrestling in the 90s. And as much as the New Age Outlaws are great, I favor and the Steiners are entertaining. Mm-hmm. But they're entertaining in a very physical, wrestling-centric sort of way, and I prefer that, so I go with the Steiners.
Exactly, and I agree with that, because, I mean, the Outlaws were a lot of it was just their attitude in general, the intro, their shtick with DX as the larger group. In terms of their matches, like, the match was kind of almost like a letdown after the intro.
Mm-hmm.
And it was the opposite with the Steiners. Like the Steiners were the complete package. So Steiner brothers.
Yep. And then we have I have Edge and Christian versus the Legion of Doom. You have Edge and Christian versus the Rock and Sock Connection.
I do.
I'll let you go first on this one.
I mean, as entertaining as Mick and Dwayne were, Edge and Christian are a complete tag team. Like, and I think there is something to be said for, like in the previous round, there's something to be said for like two titans of, kind of mushed together, and how that can be kind of cool watching those two personalities find a way to make that mix. However, there's a lot to be said for an actual genuine tag team. I remember at one point, Bubba Ray talking about how, he didn't really ever want to be a singles wrestler. He loved tag team wrestling, and there is something about that when you see like a genuine tag team. Now, I mean, granted, Edge and Christian both went their separate ways and had singles pushes and all that, but there is something beautiful about a tag team that is a tag team that gels and they're together for a long period of time and really explore what that means as a team and how to work together and all of that. Like that, there is a beauty to seeing two people function in that way in a match.
Yep.
And the chemistry that can happen with that. So yeah, I got to give it to Edge and Christian on this one. As much as I love me some Rock and Sock, like they were the total package as a tag team.
They were. All right, and then lastly we have Harlem Heat versus the Outsiders in a WCW face-off. I am going to, as much as Nash and Hall had the impact of NWO in their tag reign, Harlem Heat were tag team wrestling in WCW in the 90s, and I have to go with them. I'm going to advance them forward. Oh, shoot, did I even give... Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't even do the last bracket.
I assumed Edge and Christian was yours.
Yeah, so I didn't speak through that, but you said most of it about Edge and Christian. We talked about the Legion of Doom kind of really having maybe half of the decade where they had the same success and then kind of petered out. I just feel like Edge and Christian more impactful, more decorated in this decade. The Road Warriors had their peak in their time in the 80s. And as great as the Legion of Doom is, I got to give it to Edge and Christian. And then, as I just said, Harlem Heat over the Outsiders, because I just feel they are the more, as you just said, the complete package of what a tag team is. The Outsiders had some of the entertainment sort of stuff going on with them, which was fine. But I mean, in a lot of ways, like you said about the New Age Outlaws, I think the Outsiders weren't exactly like tag team specialists. You know what I mean? Like they just were a couple of buddies teaming together and put on serviceable matches, but they never really had classics,
Yeah.
So that's what I'm going with is Harlem Heat.
And I have to as well, because I mean, honestly, like let's just do a little experiment, because I don't think either one of us were really, were well versed in WCW. You watched definitely a lot more than I did.
I did when I got to college, because I had the Superstation, which I did not have in our like we didn't. I don't even know if TBS was offered in the cable that we got in the area we grew up in, because we were in kind of a weird spot where I just don't think TBS had that sort of reach. But when I went down to Connecticut and my freshman and sophomore years, the cable package I got with my roommate had TBS. And so I would see WCW Saturday night and be able to watch that. It was like on from like 6 to 8. So it's like I could watch it and then go out with my friends and do what college kids do. But that's where I really got to see them and got to experience, them under the tutelage of Colonel, what the heck was his name?
Colonel Parker?
Colonel Rob Parker, and then eventually Sensational Sherry managed them. Which was the moment when Booker T had that little slip. And he turned right to Sherry and she's just smiling and I'm like you dummy.
Yeah. We can edit that out, right? No.
Yeah. But sorry, you were saying an experiment.
Well, so I mean, if we were going to talk about WCW, like especially in the 90s, who else is a tag team that you pick as a representative of WCW in the 90s? The Steiners, maybe you make a case for? Maybe.
No, Steiners you do, because they had a period of time with them.
But I mean, overall, if you had to, like, again, like we're talking like the Dudleys, they spanned that decade.
Yeah.
I don't know who else you really come up with who had the longevity, the tag reigns, and just kind of the impact over that entire time.
I mean, like you had Arn Anderson, who was tagging with different people, but not as a tag
an actual team.
You know,
I mean, but you go to like the faction of like WCW, you have the Horsemen.
Yep.
In whatever formation.
Mm-hmm.
You know, who are like, you just go through those, and Harlem Heat is one of those kind of foundational, like, yeah, that's, if I had to show someone like who is the tag team of the 90s in WCW, it's Harlem Heat.
Yeah. I think it's because I think partially it's because of the volatility of the company, though, because they went through a couple different ownership changes before Bischoff took over.
Oh, a couple. Management changes, because they were owned by Turner, I think, pretty firmly by the 90s, right? Or was Jim Crockett still a thing in the early 90s?
Jim Crockett was a thing in the early 90s, I think.
Okay.
I think that was kind of the last gasps of that, and then Ted Turner bought them up, I think, in 93 or 94.
Okay.
Because Turner, once he bought them, he wanted to bring, that's when he brought, I think in 93 or 94 is when he brought Hogan in.
Was it later than that?
No, because by I think he came in 94, and then he was there for 2 years, and then Hall and Nash came. Maybe Hall and Nash came in 95, but he was doing the Hulk Hogan shtick for a little bit, and then Hall and Nash came, and then they formed the NWO, and then we were off to the races. So,
all right.
But to your point, yeah, there wasn't really a lot of established tag teams, but I think part of it was, because I think of, Steven Regal and Squire Dave Taylor, they didn't last for a long time because Regal ended up going to WWE, and you had the Hollywood Blondes, and they were only together for a little bit. You had, like I mentioned, they beat Steamboat and who was the other guy I mentioned? There was another Steamboat and someone else to win the tag belts, the Hollywood Blondes.
Yeah.
And then the Blondes lost to Arn Anderson and Paul Roma, which was one incarnation of the Horsemen, so I don't know. It kind of spoke to the volatility of the company to some degree,
Agreed. Yeah.
So,
yes, indeed.
All right. Semi-final time. I have the Dudley Boys versus the Steiner Brothers. I assume you have the same.
Yep.
And this one was a tough one because you can go back and forth and make an argument, both ways. But I feel the argument actually is pretty strong for the Dudleys in terms of longevity. So
yeah, there wasn't much of an argument for me. Like,
the
Steiners had a nice little run here. Their place in history is secure. Like our little countdown bracket is not going to make and break their legacy.
Yep.
I feel quite comfortable, moving Bubba Ray and Devon forward in this one
to the finals.
Yes.
And then we have I have Edge and Christian versus Harlem Heat. I believe you have the same.
Yep.
And in this case, I actually ended up going with, believe it or not, because the Dudleys went over on the Hardys. So would I have the Dudleys go, face off against Edge and Christian? Actually, I'm going to have them go against Harlem Heat.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
I actually at one point had penciled in Edge and Christian, but when I thought about that idea of the longevity aspect of it, I'm like, Harlem Heat is kind of the WCW representation. You have Dudley Boys, who are the ECW WWE representation. They are kind of the two best teams from the decade.
You're changing my mind here. This is mucking with my arrangements.
Sorry, Sal.
Damn it, I'm going with Harlem Heat as well.
Yeah, there we go.
You got me. In spite of Booker T's little faux pas.
Oh, boy. Oh, boy.
All right, so we are same here, sir. What are we going to do? What are we going to do?
The finals are the Dudleys versus Harlem Heat, and I think we've been pretty clear who we feel is probably the more decorated and dominant team of the decade, and I'm going to give it to the Dudley Boys.
Harlem Heat. Oh, sorry.
What? You're going Harlem Heat?
No, what did you go with?
I'm going with the Dudley Boys.
Oh.
you were talking over me, so you probably didn't hear me.
I was just giving you a hard time.
All
No,
right.
I think we need to get the tables on this one. Yeah, Dudley boys.
I think so too. Well, that was fun because that was a prime era for us watching wrestling.
Yes.
Back at the old apartment. I know it was really just for a couple of years. It was like a year and a half. I think we were watching Monday Night Raw in that apartment. Right?
It was 1 year.
Was it 1 year exactly?
It was a 1 year lease because then you shipped off and abandoned me, moving to Derry.
Hey, I had to
left
go,
me to my own devices.
I did. I needed my space, and then would proceed to invite you over to watch pay-per-views and other things. So it's like couldn't get rid of you.
Now it's basically like your case of herpes at that point.
Oh, good Lord!
I'm out of the treatment. I'm coming back.
All right. So our final four.
That's
is
what you get for all that laundric, you know.
I know. All right, let's get to the final four because we both need to get to that.
You can't ride that laundric too long without some consequences.
Keep going. Go ahead. I'll let you go. I'm not going to stop you.
I'm good.
All right, my final four. If we take the 80s, my winner from the 80s versus winner from the 2010s, 2020s, it is the Road Warriors versus the New Day. And then in the other bracket, I have from the 90s and the 2000s, which we just adjudicated, I have the Brothers of Destruction versus the Dudleys. Who do you have, sir?
So it's interesting. We are 50-50 here because I also have the Dudleys and the Brothers of Destruction. However, my previous bracket was the Shield and Demolition. So we have a possibility of a shakeup here. Good old-fashioned shakeup.
A shakeup.
So let's go with the one with the same in first.
So the Brothers of Destruction and Dudleys.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
This is tough.
You laid awake thinking about this one.
I don't know. I got to give it to the Dudley boys. I feel like the Dudleys are the stronger argument for best tag team as compared to the Brothers of Destruction. So I'm going to go with the Dudley boys. Devon, get the tables.
As well you should. I go with that as well.
Ah, look at you. I thought you were going to go with the Brothers.
because they're a true tag team.
Yeah.
You know, the brothers as intertwined as the stories were, it makes them feel like much more of a team than they were. And even though they did partner on and off for a number of years, they really were not a true tag team. It was two single stars that would come together.
Yeah.
And then split apart.
Yep.
And even though the Dudley boys did ultimately have single runs, which in WWE was ill-advised, I feel, and then in TNA also, but then they would, of course, come back together.
Mm-hmm.
They were born out of a long period of time where they were a true tag team. And that, to me, just lends extra weight because, again, I'm a sucker for a traditional tag team of just these two dudes of this. You don't see them in singles matches and all that. You know, it's just this is who they are.
Yeah.
So Dudleys are easy call there.
Indeed. All right. You, sir, have Demolition versus
the Shield.
The Shield. Where are you
probably
going
the
on
weakest of the four in my final four, really.
Yeah.
Which it makes it an easy call to go with Demolition, even though they were not, long-standing team. They had that one historic tag run. They only have two times that they held the belts, but I mean, still they were kind of iconic for the short period of time they were in the spotlight. So yeah, Demolition takes it over the Shield. And who you got in yours again?
I got the Road Warriors from the 80s against the New Day from the 2010s, 2020s.
They would have tied them into a pretzel. Oh, Kofi would have been hooked into the eighth
here's
row.
the thing. Here is the thing. I mean, the New Day has the longevity, and definitely had the fan and cultural impact. But I cannot, in good conscience, advance the Bootios over. What a rush! Because the Road Warriors of the '80s, as we talked about before, span multiple promotions. were monsters, either monster heels or monster faces, wherever they went, were physically dominant. Just, and I mean, fans were at times legitimately scared of them because of their size. I mean, they did not screw around. So I got to advance the Road Warriors into the finals.
Yes, and also being one of those teams that like this was a pattern that so many other teams have since followed.
Yes,
you know, much like we talk about the Midnight Express, the Rock and Roll Express, like there is things that they did that have now become shorthand for how other teams do them. And when you're going back and you're citing your sources, they are in everybody's bibliography.
Yeah.
So yeah, it can't be the whole decision, but it definitely influences it.
It does. It does. So my finals are the Road Warriors versus the Dudleys, and you have Demolition versus the Dudleys.
You talk about two matches that I would friggin' love to have seen.
I know.
You want to talk about dream matches? Oh my gosh.
Yep.
What do we do here? You want to go first? Do you want me to go first? How do we?
I'll go first.
All right.
So I got two finalists who, you know, when you consider the bona fides, they're pretty damn close. I mean, I don't know like number of titles. I don't know about necessarily number of promotions, but the Dudleys have won tag belts. I mean, I threw the number out there, 30 tag title, you know, reigns that team has had across multiple promotions, you know, globally. You have the Legion of Doom, or sorry, you had the Road Warriors, who, again, same sort of thing, WCW, NWA, WWE, I think in New Japan as well. So they spanned the globe in what they did. They won titles where they went. Actually, let me just look it up just since we have the 30 number. Let me just look at how many tag
It's funny
titles.
because I think the only thing you could hold against the Dudleys is they never won in WCW.
Sure. Yep.
But that is such a friggin' nit to pick because that was at a time when it's like by the time they were free agents, like ain't no way we're going to WCW.
So Road Warriors all totaled across AWA, NWA, WWF, IWGP, which is New Japan, 14 title reigns. They don't even come to half of what of what Dudley Boys accomplished.
Yeah, but at the same time, like they were first.
You sure?
I mean, and that is one of those deals where it's like I've heard so many people who now it's like, oh well, you can sound just like Stevie Ray Vaughan. Yeah, and you can learn to play all of his solos. Note perfect. Guess who did it first? Not you. There is some credit and some credence and some gravitas to who did it first. Now, whether you want to base your entire decision on that, I leave that to you, sir.
Indeed. So again, because of the fact that they're so close to comparison, it's a tough choice. It's a very tough choice. And you know, if I go with the Road Warriors, am I biased by my childhood? If I go with the Dudleys, am I biased by my kind of recency bias sort of thing with the Dudleys?
Can I chime in one thing here?
Yeah.
To maybe I don't know if this is going to ease or complicate. I think once we get to the Final Four here, we are no longer considering by decade. I think then you're considering the totality of the legacy of the team. So it's not just like the Road Warriors in the 80s. There's also that bit of the 90s, you know, and like there's a bit more to it. So I don't know if that helps or hurts your cause, but
I think it helps because when you go that way, the Dudleys went through the 2000s all the way. I mean, they came to WWE in 2015 as part of a process of putting over the New Day. And had a really strong run then as well. I mean, strong not in the sense that they won a lot more titles, but it was really like they were clearly coming in to put guys over, and that sort of thing. And so, but I mean, clearly, spanning, what would that be like? I mean, close to 20 years together, basically.
I mean, over. Yeah, they came back in 2015, yeah.
And I mean, a year or two ago, they wrestled. I think it was last year. They wrestled the Hardys in kind of like their last. I think it was the Dudley's retirement match.
Yeah, I almost want to say that was this year. It wasn't.
No, I think it was last year. I think it was last year.
Okay, yeah.
So I mean, so 2025. So I mean, gosh, they did it for 20. 3 years.
Mm.
That's pretty impressive. Legion of Doom, for probably less than that, but still, you got to weigh the impact.
The OGs.
This is a hard one. This is very hard.
It is. Your bracket.
What are you considering? Like talk through yours a little bit. What are you thinking through?
Well,
with
the thing is, for mine, it's actually a really easy decision.
I think it's easier for you, yeah.
Because by virtue of the way the brackets went,
yeah,
I wound up with my childhood favorite, who, as much as that was a foundational thing for me and is iconic for me and all that, the bona fides of Demolition and the Dudley Boys make this not much of a contest.
Yeah.
Yeah. Demolition, is from in my heart is the original tag team that I was just blown away by. Yeah. Dudley Boys have all of the qualifications, all of them. The only one they don't have is that run that Demolition had with the titles, the record-setting run. Other than that, Dudley Boys wipe the mat with them. Yeah. So, I mean, for me, it's easy. Mine is very easy. The way yours lined up is way harder. So for me, it's easy for me to be like, Devon, get the tables.
Okay.
Axe is getting 3D through a table.
Yep.
And that's that. Like Dudley Boys, because again, like it is one of those things where from every angle that you look at this, it is one of those things that it's about as perfect of a tag team as you can imagine. Because one of the because there's the two schools of thought, I think, with the tag team. You can have the odd couple, or you can have the two guys who are almost interchangeable.
Yeah.
And because there can be like the power guy and the not, like the Rockers, from Jannetty being slightly stronger than Michaels, they were still kind of interchangeable. Then you have these other tag teams where it's, like the Road Warriors. They're kind of interchangeable. Devon and Bubba Ray were an odd couple, and not just because we're dealing with skin color. Like there's also just different elements to their personality and presentation and the way, like they're distinct individuals within a team that somehow that coalesce.
Yep.
Like that is one of the tried and true tag team formulas.
Yep.
And then with all this success and the longevity and everything else, like, yes, this to me is like one of those deals where it's like, if you want to draw up how you have an iconic tag team, here you go.
Yeah.
No edits necessary. No notes. 10 out of 10. So Dudley Boys, easy for me. Now for you, I see both sides of this. And for me, if it were me, I would be giving a little more credit to the OG element of it. But at the same time, it would be very hard for me to pick against the Dudleys, because that was almost like when you talk about to people who watch like Doctor Who, and everybody has their doctor, that was kind of who they watched when they grew up. And that's who it is, So how do you weigh those? I don't know. I don't envy you, sir. But I've bought you as much time as I possibly can.
No, you didn't need to buy time. I think you made some good points, and there's a part of me that wants to go with the Road Warriors because you picked the Dudleys, because at least the Dudleys are getting theirs, and we're giving a little to the OG Road Warriors. I mean, they were a unique tag team that was copied by some. Powers of Pain, I think, was a copy. I mean, Demolition, you could make an argument, it was in some ways derivative of the what the Road Warriors were, and yet no one has duplicated the Dudleys, and they've been their own unique concoction. The one thing that I think could give the edge for me to also go with the Dudleys goes back to something I said when we started the 90s bracket, which is, they have a distinction of being one of three teams to have not one, but two WrestleMania matches where they literally stole the show with the two teams they were in a ring with in the TLC match. And in a lot of ways put that match on the map for others to now, try to raise the bar from where they set it. And the Road Warriors were very direct in being a tag team. Like they just fought tag team matches. They won championships. They so, and they weren't in the business of innovating a different match type. It was also part of the times that they came up in. It was very traditional, but yet at the same time, they, I think a lot of their uniqueness and lack of tradition came in the way they painted up their faces, the way they presented themselves, the way they were, set up to be like Mad Max sort of crazy villain. I mean, the Road Warriors. I mean, that comes from the Mad Max Road Warrior movie, right?
Yeah.
So, I kind of give a little bit of a nod over to the Dudleys for that, because they will forever be tied to not just their, them being decorated, but them also being credited for, almost like creating this whole new match that with these two other teams,
Yeah, but to me that's, and again,
I mean, it's got to count for something.
Oh, it does. It totally does. But at the same time, it's one of those deals where it's like it's such a unique set of circumstances. It's almost like saying like, well, the outsiders should definitely get the nod over Harlem Heat because of the angle of Hall and Nash coming to WCW and the way that they did and how they did and how that changed the entire landscape of wrestling. It's like, okay, yeah, they did that, but at the same time, like that was such a unique circumstance. It's almost unfair to judge people before and after that, because well, that was something that could have only happened at that point in time. And I think that the TLC match, oh no, it totally, and it should be part of that. However, I think that you also, in some ways, you have to handicap it a little bit. Like you have to take a little off and say, well, the Road Warriors weren't ever had that opportunity, because when was there two other teams that, or even one other team that could feasibly stand toe to toe with them that was promoted in that way? And so I there's part of me that's like, yeah, that stands for something, but the tough thing being like these are two very different eras, like the 80s and 90s. Even though they're right next to each other in terms of decades, wrestling changed a great deal, especially when you're dealing with the fact that ECW is where the Dudleys came from. So they came right out of the chute at 1,000 miles an hour as something you hadn't seen before.
Yeah.
And just starting with the whole Dudley family and everything else, and just this weird thing. And then the Hanson brothers tie in with Slapshot and all that. Like, it was just this other thing that you're like, okay, this is something that no one has ever really tried before, because it's almost like they didn't realize they could, know?
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess in a way, in a weird sort of way, I'm arguing against myself and trying to convince you to go with the Road Warriors, because part of me is like, I don't know that I couldn't go with them if that were my bracket. And yet I did not have that as my bracket. So I'm arguing with myself and you at the same time.
Oh, my brother, testify. So
who are you going to go with?
I'm going to go with.
Well, I had a feeling.
The Road Warriors.
I see. I had a feeling that you were getting me to argue against myself just so you could come out on this one. And just, I had a feeling.
Oh, what a rush.
And you needed no convincing. You just needed me to tie myself in knots over here for your own entertainment.
It was very entertaining to see you do it.
Puppet master. Like,
it was. It was.
Well.
I'm just going to let you go. Sit back, have a couple swigs, be like, all right, very nice. Very nice. So, so coming out of our tag team bracket, I am going to go with the Road Warriors. You are going to go with the Dudley Boys, which is a fantastic pick as well. That was, as we just talked about, very, very difficult to come to a conclusion on, but I think we have some good representation here from the era of great wrestling tag teams in both cases. So
Indeed.
Well done, sir.
Pip. And what do you have for and another thing for this episode, sir?
So last week I was on break, if you will, PTO, whatever you want to call it, from work. And I went with my youngest and my wife to the Museum of Science and Industry in downtown Chicago, where they have a exhibit. It's actually a two-part exhibit. It's in two different areas. It's same floor, but just two different areas of that floor. but it's called Marvel's Spider-Man Beyond Amazing Exhibition, and it is really well done. It's a great historical view of how Stan Lee and I'm forgetting his partner who did all the animating, came up with and fostered the idea of, really kind of breaking new ground with having a teenage hero, and really kind of using the comic medium to really kind of tell a story of that sort of adolescent struggle and the struggle with what it means to be a hero, and really kind of seeing how it started from very humble beginnings to just growing and growing into this more and more popular story that just really resonated with the youth from the 60s into the 70s into the 80s into the 90s into the 2000s, and here we are with we still have Spider-Man in the Marvel universe going with Spider-Man Brand New Day that will be out at the end of July. So very, very fascinating. Had a lot of really there was some really interesting I don't want to say exhibits, but like framed pictures of some of the original animations, some of the scripts that Stan Lee would write, and other writers would put together. They had props from the movies from the 2000s. They had props from the original Spider-Man from Spider-Man not No Way Home. What was the first one?
Homecoming.
And that was cool. And so it just spanned the decades and really just kind of showed. I mean, I didn't even realize, but they did a whole big like marketing promotion and thing for when MJ and Peter finally got married.
That was a huge thing in the comics.
That was a huge. I had totally forgotten about that. It just wasn't there.
I have that comic in my collection. That was a huge collect. That was a huge get for when you're collecting comics.
Nice. So basically, I would highly recommend if you're in the Chicago area and you're looking for something to do. For one, the Museum of Science and Industry is just a great place to go, and I mean you literally could spend a day there and probably not cover everything because of just the vastness of it. But do definitely check out this exhibit. It is well worth the money. I did get myself a little t-shirt. There it is, Spider-Man. Nice. It's all different incarnations of him. I did tell Uncle Todd there was a shirt that had the Spider-Man meme where they're like, it's like multiple Spider-Men pointing at each other, and I really wanted to get that shirt. And then I looked at the price tag and I'm like, whoa, player. I'm going to do this. Thank you very much.
A little bit out of my tax bracket, if you will.
A little bit. Oh my gosh. It's almost like the shirt's like, kind of like The Godfather, I can come in there and whoop your ass, or I can take your money.
Yeah.
Well, you're going to do both with that price tag, my friend. Holy crap.
Yeah.
So highly would recommend Marvel Spider-Man Beyond Amazing exhibition at the Chicago Museum of Science and Industry.
Very nice. And the artist for Spider-Man, along with Stan Lee, was Steve Ditko.
Yes, thank you. Yes.
As
for
How about
me,
you, sir? I'm going to embrace a bit of my old man self, and I'm going to recommend Picture Bird app. Is this my second app recommendation in a row?
This is, yeah.
I think it is.
You recommended an app last week too.
So this is one I found just kind of off the cuff, and it's worked out fairly well for me at my chateau here in Maine. In front of the picture window in our living room, we have these. It's like holly bushes. So there's little berries on them and stuff like that, and the birds love these friggin' bushes. And this year I was like, I wonder what some of these birds are, because I know like a sparrow and this and that. I'm like, oh, there's a robin. Oh, that one's red. It must be a cardinal. I know those, but then I see this bird and I'm like, I don't know what the hell this thing is. And there's like 1,000 of them in these bushes. So I'm like, I don't know from bird identifying. So I need this is where I need our technological overlords to come and save my ass. So I found this one. And the nice thing is you can take a photo on your regular camera, and then when you open the app, you can grab from your photo stream, and it will view it and go, oh, and this is and it kind of tells you about the bird and all this stuff. And one of the birds that the bird that I was looking at in particular was something waxwing, which is kind of interesting because it's got like this, it's like all gray, and then it has this little swoopy thing at the back of its head. And these birds, what I found out that made me giggle a lot, and also explained a few things. These birds will eat berries, and they will eat them to a point where they will gorge themselves on them, and then the berries start to ferment in their stomach, and they get drunk.
Oh wow! Oh wow!
And
can I pause you for a minute?
Yes.
I really have to use the restroom. I've been trying to wait, so sorry.
Right in the middle of my recommendation.
I'm sorry. I'll be right back.
Are you?
Many months later.
All right. The waxy bird ate all the berries, starts to ferment in the stomach. Go.
It's called a cedar waxwing.
A cedar waxwing. Very nice.
And so it will actually end up getting intoxicated on the berries that have been fermenting in its stomach, which explains why over the span of like 5 days, we had approximately 10 of these birds run into our window.
Oh my gosh.
Like a couple times a day, we just hear thunk.
Oh, jeez. Wow.
But I'd go and look outside, and there's none on the ground. So I'm like, oh, they're so plastered that they're not running into it very hard. They're just sort of like, boom, oh crap.
That's crazy.
And then fluttering off into the distance.
Wow.
But yeah, so it's kind of cool because then it tells you, habitat and all this stuff. So it's kind of fun if you're, but the tough thing is, like, you then realize how difficult it is to get a clear photo of a friggin' bird.
Mm-hmm.
And you start appreciating all these people who, like, Audubon Society folks who take pictures and they get these beautiful shots of birds. And it's like, how much of a zoom lens do you have in order to make that happen? Because on my friggin' phone, it's not easy. But anyways, if you're, getting older like me and you want to figure out what birds are around your house, Picture Bird app isn't too bad of a way to go.
Very nice. Very nice. And to you, to what you just shared, my wife is actually a bit of an avid bird watcher who I did not, I didn't realize this at first and have learned over the years. And so I think I'll have to ask her about this app because she may be using it as well.
Interesting. Very interesting.
Very interesting.
I knew she had good sophistication and taste in spite of marrying you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
At least you got all that laundry. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for tuning in. We do so appreciate it. You can go to Free Range EDC, find all of our episodes there, as well as subscribe to the Podbean app. We are on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Pandora, Amazon, all of the podcasting apps. Search for us, Free Range EDC. You're sure to find us. You can find full video episodes on the Spotify page as well as on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/@freerangeedc. We're also on the Facebook and the Instagram. Both of those are at Free Range EDC as well. If you have any thoughts, questions, concerns, or offers of outright bribery, we are not above, below, or beneath it. Send those to tim@freerangeedc.com. And now, ladies and gentlemen, here as the clock has ticked over to 11:31 p.m. here on the East Coast, and you're watching Perspectives.
You are.
Sorry, I didn't mean to rob you of that moment. Now time for me to hand over this show to the least idiotic member of the show. But not before I ask him the second most important question in all of human history. The first being, of course, what is hip? The second being, what the hell do we learn this episode?
We have learned the following.
Good.
We have learned that the Dudley Boys and the Road Warriors are both highly decorated. The bona fides are more than in order, and they are an example of longevity and cross-promotion success. And they correctly have been selected as the finalists for both of us from this exercise in bracketology as we wrap up March and exit into April. We've also learned that the man they call Tim is a damn genius when it comes to NCAA men's brackets. All four of the final four teams are still intact, and he is well positioned to end very strongly after not expecting to really achieve anything at all. But we have learned he's got something up there.
Could you stop diddling around with the laundrick and get going on this?
We've also learned that Uncle Todd tends to lean toward the lascivious jokes and the dirty.
240 shows, and you're just realizing this now?
I'm not realizing this now. I'm just saying for our listeners, we have learned that the depth of dirt knows no bounds, and apparently he will continue to keep pushing and pushing and pushing.
We all have our unique charm, you know?
Yes, we do. We've also learned that Uncle Todd excels at arguing with himself in some ways. It's quite a thing to behold to watch him argue and then argue against himself while he argues, and maybe even takes a third position where you're just kind of like, my God, how much longer can this guy go?
Well, I do love me some positions, you know.
With all that being, and we have also learned what's the term? Lendrick? What? Laundrick. We have also learned that Uncle Todd has coined a new phrase, the laundrick, which he has decided to take into a dark and dirty place.
I mean, you said they were long and strong, and you felt good about the laundrick, and you were riding them right into the quarterfinals.
You said that.
No, you mentioned riding at one point. You did.
I did. I said riding. I didn't say long and strong. That was you. No, you decided to take it there.
We'll have to go back to the tape on that one.
You can go back to the tape.
I distinctly remember you saying long and strong.
And while you're there, go a little further back when I'm giving myself the Barry Horowitz pat on the back for my bracket.
Like I said, if you're gonna be polishing your knob that much, you might as well be on OnlyFans and make a few bucks at it. Goodness sake!
With all that being said,
donate the money.
We thank you for the listenership. As we like to close
all $1.25 of it.
As we like to close things out here on the range, be safe, be healthy, be kind, be good to one another. Keep your mind out of the gutter. You don't have to go home, but you can't stay here. The range is closed for now. See ya.
It's like I picked the wrong week to quit drinking.
I beg your pardon, what did you say?
Damn!
You're such a disappointing pair. I prayed so hard for you. Get out. And don't come back until you've redeemed yourselves.
So say we all.
And soon you'll be able to tune in to the man they call Tim on OnlyFans at Swarthy Laundrick.
Where's Uncle Corny to end the show? Come on now. Let's end the show.
Oh, fine.
Gosh.
I like a Mussolini.
Thank you, Uncle Corny. Good God Almighty. Good God Almighty.
Feeling good?
Oh, yeah. Much better.
Good.
Now get the hell out of here!